We'll gather around, feel the love come down. Blue elephant is strong, together we belong. In every comment. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are going to do an upscaling project today, and I feel like these are always good. So my husband brought home this basket from work that they are just going to throw away, and I liked it enough as it was, right? But I was like, you know what? I can make this better. Like, the wood is it's cracked in places and it's just old and beat up, but I thought, why not? So what I did was I just took the 4 screws out of the bottom, and I thought I recorded it, but I don't know. Gave it a good sand all the way on the top and the sides because I want to make sure that, one, it's smooth and I don't have any pieces hanging off because, like I said, it was cracked. Also, I want to make sure that the resin has something good to adhere to. This wood was previously finished, so I don't need to worry about sealing it in as far as air bubbles and stuff like that goes. So I just need to scratch the surface, smooth everything out, quickly gave it a quick wipe off with some 99% isopropyl alcohol to get all of the dust from sanding and just to clean it in general. And now I am taping the bottom of it with just some painter's tape. Now, I am making sure that I go all the way around because I want to do a flood coat on this. The reason is I want to make sure that when I put the resin on, I don't want it just to stop at the top. Like, I could do that and it would be fine, but I do want the resin to go over the sides and seal that in as well. Like I said, it does have some cracks on it where the wood is just, over the years, it's just taken a beating. And I'm hoping to kind of protect it. So I am just going around right now and cutting off all of the tape that is hanging over. I do not want it to, as it's going over the sides, I want it to catch the drips on the bottom so I don't have to worry about sanding it all off. But if I have tape that's hanging over, when I go to pull it off, it's just gonna rip the resin off from the side. So I don't want that to happen, right? Or it's all going to get stuck and it's going to be a big, huge mess. So I am taking my time with this part. You want to make sure that you get all the tape just to the edge of that bottom piece. No hangover, no. You also don't want the wood showing on the bottom because you don't want the resin to adhere to it. Okay, and for today, Craftor has kindly sent me a gallon of their tabletop resin to try out and use. Now, I had done the unboxing on it, and I don't know what happened to the video. It disappeared. So in the box, you get half a gallon of part A, half a gallon of part B, gloves, the plastic scraper, plastic mixers, your directions, and some mixing cups. I am also using 3 pigments by Eye Candy. I am using, I think it's called Beetle Blue, Rose Gold, and that Soji color that I used in the last video. And then we're also going to use some black pigment paste by Rolio. Now, I've mixed up my resin, and yes, it is super bubbly. It's fine. With tabletop resin, you just are doing a super, super thin coat. So, and I'm going to heat it up really well. So all of those bubbles are going to come out. Now, I did take a little bit of resin before I mixed in my black and put it into 3 little plastic cups. And those are going to be for my colors. So the predominant color in this obviously is going to be black. And then I just want some wispy kind of color from the Eye Candy pigments. And I think it'll look cool. Now, I had played around with a couple different thoughts, like maybe including flowers or some UV DTF stickers or washi tape, or I don't know. Glitters, I don't know. Can we just talk about these colors though? Like, I know I've already shown you the Soji color, but look at this one. Look how absolutely beautiful that is. I mean, you can get like
blues and kind of green coming from it. It's almost like they're chameleon, but not. Really, really beautiful, beautiful mica colors. Like, I am just astounded every time I use them, honestly. Like, they are just absolutely gorgeous. And I really think that these three colors are gonna pop against that black. It's like, look at that. Gorgeous. Okay, so what we are going to do first is I have propped this up on a couple of cups just to get it up off the ground from any, so that, you know, when the resin is flowing over, it's not going to get stuck to anything. Now, I would recommend, and I don't know why I didn't do this now. All right, I have a silicone mat underneath, right? And that's fine. It's not going to, the resin's not going to stick to it, but it's still a mess to clean up. I usually put some parchment paper underneath when I do top coats or flood coats to catch it. This way, it peels off of the parchment paper beautifully. Like, you could reuse it if you want to, but B, if you don't want to, all you got to do is crumple it up and throw it away, and then you don't have this huge mess to clean with little drops of resin that's going to take 30 minutes, which is what happened to me. So, learn from my mistakes, put some parchment paper or a mold or something underneath there to catch your drips so that you are not having a huge mess to clean up. Now, you can also use those pieces and cut them up into small pieces or break them up, whatever, and put them as fillers for other projects. So, you know, that maybe are a block color or whatever, so that you can't see it and it helps fill up so you're not wasting your resin. All right, so all I did right now is I just poured my black over the top, smoothed it out. Now I'm taking my finger and I'm going along the edges just to encourage the resin to flow over. Now, hindsight, I I mixed up 4 ounces, and honestly, I thought that that would be more than enough resin to do this with. I probably could have used a little bit more, just because I didn't necessarily get the coverage I wanted on the sides. Now, it's already kind of tricky, especially since I'm trying to color the sides and it's just wood, and I know I could have painted it. I didn't want to do that. You can still see the wood through it. I mean, it's fine. It's not a huge deal. Like, it's just for me. But there are ways that you can go about if you want to make sure that it is going to be completely like a color and covered over and not almost transparent, because the amount of resin that's going to stay around the edge is very, very, like, it's not a lot. Do you know what I mean? So if you're doing this like this, that's black, I would recommend, if you want black on the sides, paint it first and then go over it. And then whatever color, it'll still take and go over top of your paint, obviously, but it'll be that base color underneath, and you won't have the spots where the wood shows through like I do. Anyway, back to what I'm doing. So I'm just taking these colors and a popsicle stick and just kind of drizzling them on. And I realize it looks stupid right now. It's fine. What we're going to do is, after I get this kind of just put on here, I'm going to take my heat gun and I'm going to blow it out. And I'm just going to get it to where it's got the feathery kind of design, just kind of like this. But I'm making sure that I'm doing two things. One, I am blowing it over the edge a little bit, because I do, like I said, I want it to go over the edge. So I kind of want to encourage that. But at the same time, you need to be careful, because you don't want all your resin going over the edge. Like, I'm not trying to resin my table. I'm trying to resin this piece of wood. So I just blew it out some in different directions so that the wispiness and the lines are moving, flowing in opposite directions, right? And then I'm going back in and adding more color where I think I want more color. And then we're going to do the same thing and blow it out again. I realize it looks like a hot mess right now. This is one of those instances where you just got to kind of trust the process and put down your colors, blow it out, and then let it do its thing. It's going to pull them back in some. Yes, we're going to have some runoff. Obviously, that's the whole point of doing a flood coat, is you want a little bit of runoff so that it gets those sides done. But it'll be okay. I promise. I've seen it. It'll be okay. Trust the process. All right. So now I'm just going to go around those edges again, and anywhere that I think that needs a little bit more resin, I'm going to put there just to make sure that it's not, you know how sometimes when you put like resin on something, or you're trying to drip it down or whatever, and it kind of wants to go around a certain area, maybe there's some debris or something that's causing it not to flow in those areas. I'm just going around and making sure that all of the areas around my edge are covered so that I don't have some big weird blank spot, I guess, that doesn't have any resin on it. I want it to all just flow, just beautifully flow. And then we're going to go in and add some more, because why not? And, you know, I'm not going to lie, at this point, like, I'm telling you guys to trust the process. There are times when I'm like, oh God, what am I doing? Like, I don't know how I feel about this. Should I just wipe it all off and scrap it and start over again? And then I have to remind myself, trust the process. It'll work out. It'll be fine. The resin's going to do what it wants to do. It's going to move, it's going to flow, it's going to do all of the things. It'll be fine. And even where I'm blowing it out, it's not necessarily going to stay that far blown out. You know, it's going to pull in some. So, all right, here we are 24 hours later. And see, do you see what I mean? That looks gorgeous. Now, the reason I'm sanding this is because I had the brilliant idea, after I went through all the glitters and all the other things, that it wasn't gonna do, it just wasn't gonna look right. And my husband was looking at the first layer as it was drying, and he really liked it. And I thought, if I put stickers or glitter on here, he's gonna be mad at me, because he always says that I do things. So I'm just gonna let this go. And then I was like, well, no, what if I have those metallic paints? Maybe I highlight and put some paint lines in there, and that could look really cool. And I started doing it, right? And then I hated it. It was just awful. It looked terrible. I don't know what I was thinking. So I went to clean it off with alcohol, and alcohol, like, yes, it takes the paint and stuff off, but it also takes the shine away, especially when it's fresh resin like this and it's not like fully cured, like super hard. Like, I could still, like, it's hard, it's cured, don't get me wrong, but it's at the point where if you lay it down on something and it has like a bump in it, that resin is gonna, it's soft enough that it's gonna pick up that bump. So me putting those paints on and then scrubbing the hell out of it with alcohol, trying to get them off because they had dried, left my entire surface just complete crap. It wasn't shiny anymore. It took away the shine. So then I had to go through and resand it down to get that part gone and re-top coat it, which was fine. I probably was going to do it anyway because I didn't get a nice even kind of layer around the outer edges of this. So I kind of wanted another flood coat on top. Now, in this, all I did was added a little bit of Rolio's Pearl White for that super sparkle, just to give it a little bit more shine and just, you know, niceness. And let it go. Now, I did mix up 6 ounces of resin that time because I wanted a lot of overflow. I wanted to make sure, not a lot of overflow, not like what I got. I completely destroyed my desk. It went everywhere. It was just a whole thing. Like, I've got to get a flat blade and scrape all the resin off my desk that rolled off of my parchment paper, off of my silicone mat, onto my desk. It was a whole thing. But anyway, this is 24 hours later after that, and it is cured nice and beautiful. Now it's time to take off the tape. Now, the tape comes off fine. The little beads of resin underneath, I don't have like a super huge issue getting them off. I do need to take my blade and kind of pop up underneath of there just to get it. Now, I will tell you that when you do this, for those of you who maybe never have, personally, I prefer glue on the bottom, but being that this is wood, I wasn't sure if the Elmer's glue would mess with the wood, so I just decided not to do that. I don't have liquid latex, so I'm not using that. So we're going the tape route. Now, the very first little bead of resin that I pulled off, I pulled towards the side. Do not do this, because what happens is it's still connected to the resin on the side and it loosened it, right? So now I have on that side, I have a piece of loose resin. So when you are taking these little beads off, kind of go against it. Like, watch how I do it here. As soon as I pop this off, I'm going to go against the side. So I'm not going to go towards it. I'm going around the edge of it so that when it breaks it off, see how I'm moving it kind of up that way? So that when it breaks off free from the resin on the side, it's not pulling it loose from the wood, if that makes sense. So there's your little tip for today on how to not screw up the sides of your projects. Anyway, I mean, really, it's a simple project, but it totally transformed this basket and made it something very, very beautiful, in my opinion. I really like it a lot. Now, the only thing to do is to put it back together again. And that is as simple as, honestly, 4 screws, or so I thought. Like, look how pretty that looks now. Like, it's, but if you compare it to the beginning where I just had this basket and it kind of looked like this, it's really quite beautiful. I like it a lot. I think it definitely upcycled it, and it is no longer looking like, a beat up basket. Now, here's the issue that I had. I went and screwed it in, and you would think all of these are kind of like pretty evenly spaced apart. I had a time. I had a time trying to fit these back in the holes. Like, they just did not want to line up at all. Now, when I took it off, I noticed that all of the screws, instead of being screwed in straight, they were screwed in at an angle, but who pays attention to that kind of stuff? I didn't. I just thought, all right, well, these people don't know how to screw in screws. Well, I don't know. I mean, you can clearly tell that the wood, whoever made this, the wood wasn't necessarily the right size for the actual basket. Maybe it should have been a little bit bigger or something. I don't know. I don't know. Eventually, I figured it out. Eventually, I got there, screwed it in, and that's it. Anyway, guys, that is a wrap on this one. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will see you on Thursday in the next one. Love ya. Bye.
Is strong. Together we belong. In every comment, right? You lift me to new heights. Your support, it's clear, gives me reason to cheer.